welcome back everyone to our channel Italy In and Out. Today we have our special guest, Gloria. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, Rene. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for inviting me.
How are you? Are you in sunny Spain?
Totally. It's pretty nice here.
That's great. So, Gloria, you live in Malaga, is that correct?
Right. Correct.
Yeah, so tell us about yourself when you moved from Italy to Spain and why you did that.
Oh, it was quite a longer process because I moved when I was 27 and I moved to London first, which is where you're now, Irene, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So first I went to London while looking for job opportunities. I missed the UK. I'd been there for, study holiday, homestay programs. So first of all, I wanted job opportunities. So the UK seemed quite a good option for me. Mm. And I really missed it. So my first decision was to go to the UK. A friend of mine told me so well about London and I decided to give it a try. I went there for a couple of weeks first and then I stayed. I had my return ticket and I didn't use it. The thing is that London at the end was a bit more overwhelming than I thought. I never really took that part in consideration. So I began to think about another opportunity for me. Going back to Italy was not an option because I didn't want to live there for personal reasons. One of my students told me so well about Spain, in particular about Madrid. So I went to Madrid for a 1 week holiday. Then during that 1 week, I came here to Malaga to see a friend. I had a lot of first sight for Malaga, and here I am after 2 years. Great. So no logic reasonment at the end. The first time that I moved was more of a planned, structured decision, and this time it was a matter of love.
Lovely. It sounds so sweet, but however, we guess that you had to face some troubles and difficulties. So could you please share with us what were the biggest ones?
Totally. First one being bureaucracy and bureaucratic language, as you can imagine. The UK was pretty simple. The bureaucracy is quite straightforward, but I was so tense. Well, one of the main problems is that I was always stressed out when I had to maybe send out CVs, do bureaucracy, have my NI number. And here, the things were the same, but the bureaucracy was much harder than in the UK. Not like the Italian one, but a little bit less complicated than the Italian bureaucracy. So that was one part. And the second part was very related to the language, because I knew English more than Spanish. So when I was here in my first months or weeks, and I had to basically have my find my doctor, have my NI number, or begin to work as a self-employed, I didn't know where to go, what to say, and there was this wide bureaucratic vocabulary that I had no idea of what it all meant. And I was feeling more and more frustrated because I said, oh my God, why is it not in English? It would be so much easier. Or why didn't I prepare for that in advance? But at the end of the day, how would I know or what words I needed? So it was that was my first struggle at first, dealing with things I didn't know about, technical things and technical aspect of the whole moving process, and dealing with the stress that came with all of this. And of course, meeting people, getting to know someone to chat and not stay in front of my computer because I already work from home. That was my initial struggle.
And how did you deal with the struggle? Did you do anything apart from the bureaucracy? There's probably just something that you have to kind of just learn. And but how about this social bit? How did you deal with that?
gonna be honest, I decided later on in life to relax. And I lived my first years, well, and just until recently, I lived in a constant stress. So I said, oh, I have to go to that event and meet people, make friends. I have to go there and do other stuff. So at first it was all, I have to be here, I have to be there, I have to do this, I have to do that. Of course, I met people, but I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing. And it occurred to me on my second year in Spain that I needed a hobby because I couldn't just stay in my flat and work all the time. So this is why I joined the swing dance course, and there it allowed me to take a bit of stress away, because that type of dance is joyful dance. So I was able to leave a bit of my thoughts away, a little of my worries away, and it allowed me to make friends and to be happy where I was. Because the thing is, one of my mistakes was thinking of I have to be everywhere and do things that I didn't even enjoy. But if I wanted to make friends, I wanted to make sure that I was enjoying being there even by myself. Doesn't make any sense to go there, I don't know, go to a crowded bar to meet people when I don't even enjoy being in a crowded bar. I wanted to meet people, to go to places that I truly like. So being true to myself was the key to make genuine connections and make real friends. And the dance course has helped me a lot. And basically avoiding places that I didn't really like crowded bars, clubs, all things that were like a waste of physical and mental energy to me. And as I was saying before we started this interview, I do a lot of mindfulness, so this really helps a lot for me.
And it's
really,
beautiful reflection. So I guess that, yeah, many guys can be inspired by this. So thank you very much for sharing this with us. So it's like you have really lovely experience, but we can see and we can hear that there have been some difficult moments. So have you ever had to face so difficult moment that you thought that you had better just move back to Italy?
A few times. Sometimes I coach myself thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I'm doing everything wrong. And part of it was that I was feeling guilty for being far away from my family, but that's a whole other story, and it's too complicated to share in this interview. I had to learn how to be okay with the fact that I am a separate being from my family and my friends, and that just because most people seem to be doing one thing, it doesn't mean that that one thing is right for me. So I had to learn how to stop comparing myself to other people who seem to have an easy life, because I cannot be sure of the life that other people have. I said, okay, this is my life. I chose this. This is what comes with this life choice. And maybe I don't even want that easy life that someone apparently has. So I shifted the focus from the outside to the inside. And I began valuing more this experience. And instead of thinking, oh, I could have my life easier and I might as well go back to Italy, I started to really feel what I really wanted. And what I wanted was not an easy life in the same town where my family is. It's not something against my family, but I don't really like living in that town. I really like being here. So I listened to myself and what I really wanted, and I stopped comparing myself to someone who had a totally different experience from me. It's still an ongoing process, but I'm learning to compare myself only with the person that I was before. And again, there's no end when you begin a process like this. It's an ongoing process, and it takes time. But at the end of the day, it's much more rewarding that comparing yourself to this person, that person, the other person, because everyone is unique. Everyone has their own personal story. And we might not know anything about other people. So yes, to go back to the beginning of the question, Barbara, I thought from time to time, I might as well go back and leave this stuff and just live like a normal person. But when I truly listened to myself, I knew that I had to be here and build my life here. Despite the fact that it's not going to be as easy as if it were in my own country.
That's beautiful. Thanks, Gloria.
Yeah,
And
amazing. Yeah.
So
Thank
from what
you.
you're saying, it seems like you've learned a lot about yourself. Like moving away kind of showed you that you can be your own person. Are there any other things that you feel you've learned in this process?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. In my case, if you realize that you need a psychologist or a therapist, please go. And be open and cut time for yourself, and don't be so harsh on yourself, because I think it's kind of common that you want to impress other people because you're a foreigner in another country and you want to do everything right. You want to impress people maybe with your job or with your language skills or with anything. And it's so easy to see yourself as inferior to other expats or people who were born and raised in that country. But again, as I said before, it's not a matter of comparing yourself with other people. You have your experience, you have your path, you have your story, and you're more than enough just the way you are. So there's no need to feel inferior or feel like you have to impress someone. Be happy with what you can do, because what you can do is more than enough. And that's it. One of my concerns was that I was not going to be able to speak good enough to make friends, but here I am, got friends, and I don't speak perfect Spanish. I still have quite a strong accent, and that doesn't mean that people don't appreciate me as a friend, because that's not what friends take into consideration when they have to pick another friend. You can connect even though you don't have the perfect language skills.
That's a beautiful advice. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Right. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to advise or to tell an expat to be? Something that you should be aware of?
Well, yes. Follow your gut and not the logic. At least it worked for me. Sometimes we think too much with our head because this is right, because they always told me that this is what we have to do. But what we have to do might not work for you, because we're all different. And although this teaching comes from our family or from the majority of people of the place where we were raised, it might not really not work for us. So feel free to listen to your gut. And remember that as much as you're happy with your decision, there will be tough and sad moments and frustrating moments. But that doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. Those moments are there to teach you something. It's sort of a matter of how you look at them. And if you have to experience some alone time, may this time be welcome. It's a great teacher, and we have to learn to be on ourselves, which doesn't mean being lonely. We have each other, and it's not just a sad phrase. We really have each other. So, I don't know if it's grammatically correct, but what I meant is I have myself. I can count on myself, and we can count on ourselves as well. Of course, we need people, but we need to be there for ourselves. So welcome these lonely times and make them your friends. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Being an expat doesn't mean that everything is great and you're always going to be partying and having a great time. It's going to have its moments. So welcome these moments and don't see them as a failure. There's no failure or anything. It's just a growth.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing advice. We can all agree on
Gloria,
that. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for sharing all this advice with us. We're so happy having you here today. So once again, this is Gloria. You can check her amazing Instagram account and website, speakital.com. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll find a lot of tips on her website and a lot of useful material for Ital language. So here we go. Yeah. So thank you again, Gloria.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for us. Yeah, so thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.